Hello everyone! A few weeks ago I made a review for FF7 Remake, which you can go watch if you're interested. And today I'm going to be reviewing FF7 Rebirth. So I first played FF7 Rebirth around October last year. It's the game that made me buy a PS5. You know, the reason I have a PS5 in the first place was because I wanted to play that game. That's why I bought it. So like I said in my review for Remake, FF7 Remake and Rebirth are the reason that this channel of mine exists. So again, this is foreshadowing for how this review is going to go. It's going to go very similarly to my Remake review if you watched that. So just to recap, I first played Remake in 2020 when that came out. It was my first ever Final Fantasy game. I'd never played a Final Fantasy game before that. Then before playing Rebirth, I played the OG FF7 and I replayed Remake as well. Just so that I was, you know, it was all fresh in my mind, what happened in Remake, and also so that I would have context for the original game before going into Rebirth. Because I knew that they'd made changes in Remake and I knew that there would be more changes in Rebirth, so I wanted to know what those changes would be as I was playing through the game. I wanted to be able to pick up on those differences. So that's why I played the OG. So this time, unlike with Remake, I had context. I knew what happened in the original game. So I had certain expectations or ideas of where this was going to go. As far as my expectations, it definitely met my expectations. In fact, it greatly exceeded them. I think the best way I could describe Rebirth for me is that the game in itself is just, it's like a dream. It's like, if I could have dreamed up the perfect ideal game for me and what I like in video games and what I enjoy, it would be Rebirth, pretty much. I don't really have any criticisms about this game at all. It's just, to me, this game is, I don't like to describe things as perfect because I don't believe in perfection, but it's the closest thing to perfection for me in terms of video games. It's amazing. Just thinking about it makes me want to replay it again, to be honest with you. So the first category I'm going to talk about is the world and how they brought the world from the original FF7 game to life here is just insane. I don't really know what other words to use to describe it. I had certain kind of expectations going into it from like the trailers I'd seen and what I knew, of course, of the original game and the environments there and different areas. But they nailed it. And I mean, just like in Remake, there was so much attention to detail. They went above and beyond in terms of just bringing the world to life. It did not feel empty. It felt lived in, it felt alive. It felt like I had been transported to another world. It felt like I'd been immersed, you know. It's very immersive, just like Remake was. It's very immersive. It just drew me in. And I was residing in the world of FF7 Rebirth while I was playing it. Like I was there, you know? And the environments are amazing. I mean, just from the beginning with like the grasslands. Right, okay, I need to take a step back quickly. So the areas are open zones, essentially, but they're very big open zones. It isn't an open world game. It's just got really, really, really big open zones instead of it being completely open world. And that really does create the illusion of it being an open world game without it actually being open world. And it also allows them to kind of put the brakes on you and force you to do certain things before you can progress to other areas, which adds some linearity to the game, which I like. I like that it's not completely open world and that you can't just go wherever and do whatever you want and go straight to the end of the game if you want to, because I don't think that wouldn't work, in my opinion. So I'm glad that it's got massive open zones and that you can explore these zones as much as you want. There's loads of stuff to do within the areas, loads of stuff to discover, loads of places to go. It looks amazing. And honestly, you could explore each zone for hours. And I think my favorite areas, this is hard. I really like Gungaga. Gungaga is amazing. The music that plays in that area as well is amazing. I won't talk about music yet, though that will be a separate section, but the music in Gungaga was really good. I love the Gold Saucer. Obviously, the Gold Saucer is one of the big highlights of the game, I think, in terms of locations. And I also really love the Temple of the Ancients. Honestly, just so many of the environments are just amazing. I kind of had a certain image of how I thought they would look in a modern, like in modern graphics, but they very much exceeded my expectations in terms of how they looked and how amazing they were. Just, I can't fault anything to do with the environments or the way they decided to go about doing the open zone areas and any of that. I have no critiques at all. Next thing, I'm going to talk about the battle system quickly. I don't think I really need to go into depth about the battle system. It's very much the remake battle system, but they've built upon it a lot. So there's new combinations you can do. They have slightly changed certain characters like attacks and how they kind of work in battle a little bit, but all of its improvements over remake. And then you now have these synergy abilities you can do where you have two characters that can do certain special attacks together, and it just works amazingly well. It's so satisfying when you can do limit breaks or synergy attacks, and the stagger mechanics are really good. And I really like how the game really incentivizes you to really think about enemies' weaknesses and stagger them. It really incentivizes staggering and figuring out how to stagger enemies. It literally gives you missions and goals and stuff to accomplish that sort of thing. And it also gives you quite a lot of incentive to switch between characters, more so than the remake did, in my opinion. I found myself using different characters more during battle in Rebirth than I did during remake. Remake, I very much stuck to Cloud for the majority of the time. I did use Tifa a lot as well, and I did use Aerith a lot, but I think it was very much mostly Cloud, like the majority of the time, because Cloud was definitely, in my opinion, the best to fight as in remake. But in Rebirth, I think they did a really good job at fleshing all of them out more in terms of their abilities, and they were just all better to play as than they were in remake, which meant that I played a lot more as Tifa and Aerith in particular than I did in remake, because I just found them even more fun to play as here. I did, of course, play as the other characters a lot, but those were my main three. Those were my main three that I enjoyed having in my party the most. So my party, most of the time in battle, was Cloud, Aerith, and Tifa. It was those three for the vast majority of the time, because they're the trio that I enjoy the most. I don't know. So yeah, battle system, I have no complaints. It's a massive improvement over the remake battle system, and that's saying a lot because I love the battle system in remake as well. And it's really satisfying to enter battles. Sometimes with JRPGs, I avoid battle because they can get kind of tiring and very repetitive. But in Rebirth, to me at least, I didn't feel that way. It was very, every time I entered battle, I loved it. So I wasn't avoiding enemies at all. I was like, there's another enemy, let's go. It's probably my favorite battle system, honestly, in video games, especially in JRPGs. As far as JRPG battle systems go, yeah. It's definitely my favorite action battle system in a JRPG game, that's for sure. Like, if we want to separate action and turn-based, right? But even then, altogether, if you include turn-based and action, it's probably my favorite, just in general, within JRPGs and RPGs and stuff. Then onto story. So the story, there are changes. First of all, there were changes made in remake that obviously carry over into Rebirth, especially towards the end of remake. They defeat Destiny or Fate, and then Zack is alive. And it's confirmed at the beginning of Rebirth. Yes, he's alive, but he's in a different timeline of some sort. And that's very much something that you see all throughout Rebirth is it keeps switching to Zack and what's going on with him in the timeline he's in, and then back to Cloud and Party. And yeah, so there's all of these different timeline kind of shenanigans going on. Some people really don't like that. And I can understand that. I can understand why people wouldn't like the different timeline stuff. I love it. I really like it. I feel like it's genius, personally. I feel like they've handled it really well. They've been very intentional with it. Some of it doesn't make sense yet, but that, to me, is normal because it's not finished. There's a part 3 where I'm going to assume they're going to explain everything. Like, everything's going to be explained. Everything will come together nicely and make a lot of sense. Whereas at the moment, we're kind of like, okay, what is going on exactly? But again, I think that's intentional on their part. You're not supposed to know what's going on yet. We all have theories as to what's going on and what happened in Rebirth and what's going to happen in part 3, but we don't know yet. And I think that's very intentional on Square Enix's part. They don't want you to know yet. You're not supposed to. So yeah, Zack is alive in his separate timeline, and I loved that you get to see a lot of Zack in Rebirth. Granted, he's very much, you spend way more time with Cloud and co than you do with Zack, but the sections that you do get with Zack are very impactful, and I love his inclusion. I don't know whether everyone loves his inclusion. I do. I love that he's there, and I love Zack as a character. I haven't played Crisis Core yet, but from what I've seen of Zack in Rebirth, I love his character. I just think he's great. So yeah, I love his inclusion, and I love what they decided to do with Zack and his little kind of storyline that's going on, where he seems to be going between different timelines potentially, and he seems to have an impact on fate and what happens in these different timelines he's in. Like, he does things that seem to change fate. We're not entirely sure whether that is the case, but that seems to be the implication, at least. And then, of course, there's Cloud and co that are going through the OG storyline, granted with some changes and some differences, where it starts off with the flashback with Cloud, Tifa, and Sephiroth, where we get to see kind of Sephiroth's backstory of how he ended up becoming evil. And we find out that it's because he has mummy issues. That whole flashback section was great, and I love that you got to fight as Sephiroth briefly. That was insane. You see, Square Enix, they just knew what the people wanted, you know? With those things, at least. Like, if you're gonna have Sephiroth, make him playable, and they did. Yeah, the rest of the story, pretty much like the OG. I feel like they did such an amazing job at really bringing the story to life even more than in the OG FF7. To me personally, that doesn't mean that the OG FF7 isn't good and that this is a replacement for it. The OG FF7 will always be what it was and its own thing, in my opinion. And the remake trilogy is not a replacement. It's just, I guess, an add-on, an alternate universal game, however you want to look at it. But it also kind of depends on how part 3 plays out as to what exactly FF7 remake trilogy is in the grand scheme of the FF7 universe. But we'll see. But yeah, just the way they did it, in my opinion, was so good. I'm so satisfied with it. And I love how the ending of Rebirth literally confused the life out of me. I was like, what just happened? It was very confusing. But again, I think that's intentional. So yes, very confusing, but I wasn't against it. Sometimes I like it if stories confuse me and I don't know what's going on. Because I'm so used to always being able to predict what's going to happen in stories, to be honest with you. It's like sometimes stories can be very predictable, but also I don't know if it's just because I've consumed a lot of media that, you know, I'm kind of like, yeah, I know where this is going. Oh, look, that thing happens that I thought was going to happen. So I really like it when you have no idea what's going on or it's confusing. So I like that, you know? I don't like everything to be predictable all the time. And now for the characters. I love the characters in this game so much, as you know. The characters in FF7 are probably my favorite video game characters in general. I say probably because I really like the cast of FF10 as well. The way they just brought the characters to life in Rebirth is so amazing. It's just, I don't even have words. So starting off with Cloud. Cloud really kind of starts opening up in Rebirth. You see more of his goofy side. You see more of his like vulnerable kind of side coming out. Because Cloud, he likes to be edgy and he tries to be cool. He tries very hard to be cool. But deep down, that's not really who Cloud is. Like, he's not this really tough person who's always like cold, detached, and like emotionless, pretty much. Like, that's not who he really is deep down. Deep down, he is a softie. And you see more of that coming out throughout Rebirth, and it's so nice. Like, he has a bunch of these goofy moments, and whether it be throughout the main storyline or throughout some of the quests. And I love Cloud, and I'm really excited to see what they do with Cloud's character in Part 3, because for those who've played the OG, we know what's coming. So I'm just so interested to see how they portray Cloud when he goes through that, you know? Then I love how Tifa and Aerith had all of these female friendship moments. They were really heartwarming. They had them in Remake, but then Rebirth does give you even more of those moments. You can tell that they're really close. And I love that so much. And Tifa, Tifa is just, I liked Tifa in Remake, but I liked her even more in Rebirth. I feel like they did great things with her character in Rebirth. Tifa is just a really enjoyable character. She's very relatable as well, I think. And I like that she's not seemingly perfect. She's relatable in a lot of ways. And she's very caring. She cares about everyone a lot. She's always worried about everyone in the party and checks up on everyone. And again, honestly, I said this in my review for Remake, but the female characters in FF7 are really, really well written, in my opinion. I think they're amazing. And Aerith and Cloud in Remake were my two favorite characters, and they were my two favorite characters going into Rebirth as well, obviously, after having played the OG. But I think, honestly, by the end of Rebirth, Aerith essentially became my favorite FF7 character, and I think she's literally my favorite fictional character of all time now. Cloud is a very, very close second, I guess. Like, if I had to rank them, I don't really like doing that, but I say this because I just know that Aerith is very special to me. I feel very attached to her as a character. I get emotionally attached to characters anyway, but I'm particularly emotionally attached to Aerith, which, if you know what happens in the OG and in Rebirth, then you know that being very attached to Aerith is quite soul-crushing. But I just love how Aerith is this really kind of whimsical, sort of ethereal person who kind of has this innate, she has this like intuition where she just seems to kind of know things and know what's going on, and it's because she's a Cetra. But that's something that I love about her. It makes her so interesting and kind of mysterious. And I love her personality. Like, she's really bubbly, and she always is, despite everything she's been through and continues to go through, she always tries to put her best self forward, and she always tries to remain positive, and she's just got a lot of mental fortitude, as she's very strong mentally, Aerith. So in Remake, she could see the future. She knew things that were going to happen, including regarding herself. And in Rebirth, apparently she's lost her ability to like see the future or whatever, but she seems to still know things. Like she seems to have an idea of what's going to happen to her in the future. There's just certain moments where you can see that she knows what's going to happen. And that's, I'm trying to not get emotional. It's like, Square Enix, why would you do this to us? It's so soul-crushing to see her like that, but also it's really impactful as well. I'll give Square Enix that. It's very impactful, and it just made her as a character and all of her character moments in Rebirth so much more impactful in Rebirth, in my opinion, than in the original. Like that scene at the church with Cloud towards the end of the game had me absolutely sobbing, and the like little date they had before that had me like really emotional as well. And to me, Aerith is like, I don't have role models really, but Aerith is kind of like, she inspires me, if that makes sense, because she's very self-assured. She knows what she wants. She kind of has this understanding of things and people beyond the average person. And yeah, I love all of that about her so much. And she's just very inspiring to me. Anyway, so Barrett as well, he has so many really good character moments in Rebirth, and they did so well with his character. Like I said, I loved all of the characters in Remake, but I feel like they were just even better in Rebirth. I just fell in love with them even more in Rebirth. All of them, literally all of the characters, especially the ones that were in Remake. The new characters, I really like as well. I really like Yuffie, really like Vincent, Sid, Kate Sith. Kate Sith I really like. He's kind of a comedy relief kind of character. He's funny. I was obviously going to like him because he's a cat, a black and white cat like my cat Mitzi. And on top of that, he has a Scottish accent and it's amazing. Vincent is very quiet, like more so than Cloud even, which is saying something. So I feel like part 3 is where I'm going to really start liking Vincent more, hopefully, but I did like Vincent. Sid I liked as well. He has some good moments in Rebirth. And Yuffie is great. I really like Yuffie. Yuffie's kind of the more boisterous kind of... She's the youngest girl in the group. I think she's literally the youngest in the group in general. Yeah, she is. She's the youngest. She's the more like hyperactive, kind of boisterous character. She's really fun and she's kind of funny as well. It's an amazing cast of characters and they did so well with how they chose to portray them in Rebirth. Honestly, just perfection. Then, because I don't want to be talking about the characters for too long, moving on to the mini games, the side quests, and all of the side content in the game. So I know that there's a lot of people that didn't like how much side content there was in the game. I really liked the fact that there's so many mini games and so many side quests. I completed all of the side quests, literally all of them. Didn't matter to me whose side quest it was and whose relationship and whose affinity that would affect with Clouds. I was like, I'm doing all of them. I don't care. I'm doing all of them. And I nearly completed Queen's Blood. I need to go through and finish all of the Queen's Blood matches, but Queen's Blood is a card game that the Square Enix developers decided to make. And why is it so good? Usually, okay, with JRPGs and games that have mini games and things like that in them, I don't play them really unless I'm forced to, because I just don't tend to enjoy them. I don't like Blitzball that much in FF10, sorry. I choose not to play it unless I have to at that specific part of the game. And I didn't play Triple Triad in FF8. I wasn't interested. I don't play the mini games in JRPGs really. I'm just not interested. But Queen's Blood Queen's Blood was genuinely so good that I played a lot of it. I think I had maybe like 3 matches left until I would have completed the Queen's Blood storyline, because yes, there's also like a bit of a storyline with Queen's Blood, so you have to complete all of the matches and then you get to the end of the Queen's Blood storyline. But you can ignore it. That's the thing. I know that there's a lot of side content in Rebirth, but you can ignore it if you want to. You don't have to do it. You don't even have to do any of it if you don't want to. There are benefits to doing side quests in particular, but if you don't want to do any of it, you don't have to, you know? And then there's the world exploration missions, which I nearly completed as well. Again, I need to go back and finish those. I was literally right towards the end of the world exploration missions where you get to that specific island or whatever, and there's these like temples, I can't remember, and you have to defeat these different monsters, I think they're summons, in order to finish the world exploration missions and the storyline kind of that's going on there as well. So I need to go back and do that. That was also really fun. The only reason I didn't complete it is because I was struggling to defeat one of the monsters, and I thought I want to continue with the story, so that's what I did. And yeah, the other mini games were enjoyable, but I don't think I would go back and play any of the other mini games other than Queen's Blood, really, unless I had to, like if I was trophy hunting, you know, if I wanted to 100% the game and get the platinum trophy, then I would have to go back and do more of the mini games. But they were enjoyable. And next section is music. What is there even to say about music in an FF7 game other than it's amazing? I playlisted loads of the songs. I want the soundtrack on CD, and it's just part of my lifetime soundtrack, if that makes sense. I particularly really liked the soundtrack that played in Gungaga, and the Gold Saucer was really nice as well, the soundtrack that played at the Gold Saucer. And something I really, really liked is that for the dates at the Gold Saucer, they did like a lo-fi kind of remix of Tifa and Aerith's themes. I love that, they're so good. I listen to those quite often actually. I have them in a playlist on YouTube. I don't think they included those 2 songs on the actual Rebirth soundtrack, and I don't know why that is. I feel like they should have done, because they're so good. We want them. We want them, Square Enix. Give them to us. Thank you. And yeah, just that there's some, I can't remember the names of certain songs on the soundtrack that really stood out to me, but there's one track, I can't remember if it's Hear the Voice of the Planet or something like that. It's something along those lines. I don't think that's the exact title of the song, but that is amazing. They went all out with this soundtrack. I need to buy the CD. So yeah, I thought I'd just go over some of my favorite scenes from the game as well. So obviously I mentioned the scene in the church with Aerith and Cloud. That was one of my favorite scenes. Sometimes I just rewatch it just to make myself suffer, because I don't know why. Sometimes I just like to emotionally destroy myself for no good reason. So I like to rewatch it, and I like to rewatch the little date scene that happened before that and destroy myself once again, you know? I don't know why, but I really like star-crossed lovers, you know, lovers that are just, they love each other, but they're just not meant to be. Those vibes and soulmateism and all that sort of thing. And honestly, just any scene with Aerith in, I loved. I also really loved, I love all of the date scenes at the Gold Saucer. I obviously got Aerith's. Tifa's, I love Tifa's as well. Tifa's is really good. And I really like all of them. I really like Red 13's. I completely forgot to talk about Red 13 earlier during characters. What the heck? Red 13 is an amazing character as well. Why did I forget to talk about him? Justice for Red 13, honestly. But yes, Nanaki. I love Nanaki. He's so cute. I love the Gold Saucer date scene that Cloud has with him. And I really like the date with Barrett. And, and the one with Yuffie. They have like older brother, younger sister vibes going on there. It's so cute. And I obviously love the Loveless play scene. That's all really good as well. And the part where Aerith sings No Promises to Keep. And another thing that I love about Rebirth towards the end is that Cloud and Zack get to fight together against Sephiroth. That is just so good. I loved the whole thing. It was amazing. It was 10 out of 10. I'm not gonna go over what my theories are for part 3 because I have theories to a certain extent, but I don't know what the heck is going to happen. So I'm just in it for the ride. Whatever happens, I don't really... It's not that I don't care what happens, that sounds weird. What I mean is, I don't have a specific direction that this game trilogy has to go into for me to be satisfied or to enjoy it. At the end of Rebirth kind of makes you question whether Aerith really is actually dead or not. So that will be answered in part 3 fully, I'm sure, at some point, whether yes, she is fully dead and, or no, she's actually alive but in a different timeline or something, or something is going on there. I don't know. Honestly, Aerith doesn't need to be alive for me to be happy with part 3 at all. That doesn't have to be the case, but as an Aerith fan, I'm just gonna have to go into part 3 emotionally prepared for what is to come. The main things that I'm focused on with part 3 is obviously mostly Cloud and what's going to happen with Cloud, because Cloud goes through a lot in part 3. He's gonna go through a lot. And I'm really excited to see how they portray that, because he's such an amazing character, so well written. One of my favorite characters of all time. So that's it for the review. I did say previously that I was going to make a video about Cloud as well, and I'll be making a video about Aerith. For the Aerith video, if I get emotional, don't mind me. It's quite likely to happen. With Cloud, I probably won't get emotional with Cloud's video, but yeah. Cloud and Aerith are my 2 favorite characters for different reasons. Aerith is kind of like the character that inspires me and that I'm very, very emotionally attached to. And Cloud is the character that I relate to the most, I would say, in FF7, which might sound a bit weird, but I'll dive into why that is in the video I make about Cloud and how I personally relate to him and some of his experiences. So look forward to those in the future when I eventually make them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!